What's up, guys? Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. So, pretty crappy day in terms of the field goal plays, under 1.5. Obviously, the Packers hit the late night field goal. We had a lot of unders, though, for Packers receivers, though. So we got some decent starts to some underdog slips. Watson under. We had Musgrave under. Obviously, Musgrave got injured, so hopefully a quick recovery. We had Wicks under 1.5 on a bunch of platforms, but Riley Patterson obviously beat. We had Romeo Doubs over, so mediocre day, whatever. We'll obviously have to see how some of these underdog fantasy plays turn out. Hopefully you tail them. But without further ado, we can start getting into some bets. We're probably going to mainly look at the NFL. Although there are some soccer bets. I've explained this before. I'll give out soccer bets from time to time. What's great about soccer is in tennis, these are my two most profitable sports on FanDuel on the positive EV tool, is the sports books just really don't seem to watch their lines as much. So there's a lot of opportunity. Like you can see here, Struff, plus 148 on FanDuel. All the other, the whole market has been ripping odds in her favor. She's down to plus 125 on BetOnline. BetOnline's known to be like a more sophisticated bookmaker, so there's a lot of good bets. Where should we start, though? So we can kind of debate where to start, but we'll mainly be looking at PrizePicks, and we focus on these PrizePicks, Underdog, ParlayPlay, because they're in a bunch of states, so a lot of us can bet on them, which is great. But you can see there's some arbitrage bets, between PointsBet and DraftKings, stuff like that. So there's some good bets right here, right? So maybe we'll go through some of those in a bit, but where should we start? So maybe we start out with Underdog Fantasy. Why not? Underdog Fantasy is, I have a $100 betting limit, so you'll see all my slips are $100. Sometimes people ask like, oh, why'd you only bet this amount of money on, whatever. So let's get into it. Or we can start on PrizePicks too. We can start on PrizePicks. Why not? We can start on PrizePicks. So we can start on PrizePicks. So if we look at college football, I apologize, player receptions, you can see here there's like this line discrepancy, you can see Underdog, ParlayPlay have Bolden's line at 4.5. PrizePicks is at 4. So again, you really want to understand how do these platforms work. So, right, the way all these platforms work, Underdog, ParlayPlay, PrizePicks, is they're fixed payout sports books. So what that means is, on Underdog, any 3-pick entry you create, you're getting a 6x payout. So the first play I'm going to go with, So let's go back here, is we can look here at Underdog. Why don't we start on Underdog Fantasy? So some of these plays where there's only like 2 books posting lines, I in general tend to avoid, but you can see we're going to be able to find some pretty good bets. We already locked in Jalen Hurts over 29.5 in the previous live stream. I think that play is pretty good. You can see it right here. We have Hurts over 29.5 passing attempts. If you didn't bet it previously, it's still available. You can see the rest of the market has him 30.5, 31.5. So anyways, let's look at this play on Bolden, right? I'm going to play this on both ParlayPlay and Underdog Fantasy. So we want under 4.5 receptions, and then I'm also going to load this up on Underdog Fantasy. So let's get rid of this. So again, when you go through the math behind Underdog Fantasy, so if we go to this little spreadsheet, you'll see, right, Underdog Fantasy, again, fixed payouts. So you select overs, unders, whatever, you're always getting the same payout, right? 2 golf picks, doesn't matter, right? Any 2-pick entry is a 3x payout. So it all boils down, right, for a platform that doesn't change your payout based on the picks you select, it all boils down to, what percentage of your picks can you win? And you're going to see on Underdog Fantasy, to be profitable, playing 5-pick entries, 5 picks, you got to win 54.79 or 54.7% of your player props. So why do I think this play is winning above 54.7% of the time? Is obviously I follow a very data-driven approach, but you can see here, Barstool, right? They have the under super heavily favored, minus 150 odds, right? So what we can do is we can go to, a no-vig calculator. which essentially just removes, and this is fucking getting complicated, way more complicated than usual, but let's just keep this short, right? For the people who give a crap about the math, it's called a no-vig calculator. It's the most important calculator in sports betting. All it does is remove the vig and tell you the win probability for a bet, right? So like, for example, Barstool has this, the under heavily favored. So according to Barstool, right, they have the under at minus 150. This play is about 56% to win, 55.75. And it may be confusing, like, what the fuck does that mean? But again, like, if a team is minus 200, so if you go to like the NFL, right, and we look at money lines, there's different levels of how big is the favorite. So the Jags are minus 162 against the Falcons. So essentially, minus 162 favorite, right? What we can do is we can go back here, right? The Jags are plus 136, so essentially, according to DraftKings, and this should make sense, you can see right here, if we put in plus 136, minus 162, the Falcons are like 40% to win this game, and the Jags are like 59%, whatever. So maybe that makes sense. Whereas the Eagles are obviously much bigger favorites. They're minus 425. So minus 425, right, means they're 78% to win, right? Minus 200 means a 2-to-1 betting favorite, 2/3 to win the game, right? So we just want to find picks that are winning above 54.79% of the time. So you can see here, like, you may think like, oh, all the sports books have the line at 4.5. Like maybe we should take the over on PrizePicks. But all the sports books have the under super heavily favored, like minus 155. So it actually seems like the side is taking the under on ParlayPlay as well as Underdog Fantasy. So this is the first play I'm going to go with that we can lock in. And again, like, we're kind of using all these data points to make our bets, trying to make informed betting decisions. So you can see here, right, like, okay, PrizePicks has his line lower at 4. That indicates to us maybe there's some value on the under on Underdog Fantasy. And then the fact that all the sports books have the under at like minus 150 odds makes it pretty clear this bet is pretty good on Underdog Fantasy. Although we can check out, we can go to like, the sportsbook screen. This screen just kind of shows us where every book is setting their line. So if we go to like, whatever, shots attempted, something like that, we can take a look at this guy. So you can see there's not a ton of data points. Underdog at 2, FanDuel has the line at 0.5 with the over favored. I don't know, soccer can be a little weird. There's not a ton of data points, so we'll skip over that play. But, I'm sure we'll find some other bets to go with. So we have our first play. I explained this earlier, but like one strategy I love to do is if you can bet on college football player props in your state, is FanDuel this year. There are some huge discrepancies, right? Like Xavion Williams, right? I would hit the shit out of this. So if you look here, right, if we go to, Mississippi State, Alabama. So Alabama, minus 710. Damn. If we look at Williams, right, his line is 45.5 here on FanDuel, right? Hit the under, hit the over here, right? That's a 10-yard middle. It's crazy how fragmented, how inefficient the sports betting market is. And OddsJam, again, is, very simple. Most bets aren't line discrepancies, right? Most of these plays on Underdog Fantasy suck. So all OddsJam is doing is like reading in the plays and being like, yo, this is an interesting play to look at. You have a 10-yard fucking gap between where Underdog and FanDuel are setting the line. That's crazy, right? So we got our first play. But anyways, so we got our first play. Where do we want to look next? So like Dorian Singer, right? 30.5 is his line on Underdog. It's 38.5 on ParlayPlay. It's crazy that some of these plays are still available. Like we've called them out a bit ago and just how good they are, but hey, they're still available. So anyways, KJ Osborne over 2.5. This bet still looks good, right? Why is this bet winning above 55? But we already have this in a pick. But if you want to ride it with me, it's still available, but I already bet it. And you'll see, like, I would love to bet it again, but Underdog Fantasy, if we go here, they're not going to let me bet it again. 3-pick entries, you're getting a 6x payout on Underdog. You can see they told me, no, you've hit your limit. But, a lot of people, it's like, why do you like this pick? Well, at the end of the day, all a good pick is, all a profitable pick is on Underdog is a play that you believe is winning above 54.7% of the time, right? If you can win these over-unders, right, Just like C-Loss over under 4.5 receptions, if you can get these right over 54.7% of the time, you're going to be a profitable, player on Underdog Fantasy long term. You're going to have a positive ROI. So we just turn to the sports books. That's the only fucking thing that makes sense, right? Like all these books vary, they tell you which team is favored. The Eagles are favored. The Jaguars are favored. The Bills are favored to win the game. And again, like this is a market, just like the price of a stock. People can buy it. If the Bills shouldn't be favored, all the people who think the Dolphins are going to win because they just blew out the Broncos, well, you can go bet the Dolphins. And if enough smart people start betting the Dolphins, sportsbooks will move lines towards the Dolphins. But according to markets, and anyone can go bet this and move the line, but according to markets, the Bills are favored to win this game. So anyways, what should we go to next? So we have some picks. Let me get rid of them. So what we can do is we can kind of zone in here. What other plays do we have? James Cook, go over 2.5 receptions. We've already been through that. That play seems good. Diggs over 6.5 receptions. I think we already have this. So the hard part is just getting down action. Like you can see, I already have this Diggs play. Damn, man. And we were 2 for 3 here so far. A lot of these plays getting voided. I guess he didn't play, right? Braxton Garrett didn't play, which kind of sucks because, well, actually 5 picks versus 4 picks, they're roughly the same, so it doesn't really matter that much. But anyways, like I think all these picks are good, but I'm already on them. But if you want to tail, feel free to tail. So we can go, we can take a look at this play, like, McKinnon under in rushing yards. How do we feel about this? So again, I follow a very data-driven approach. I like to kind of check out the whole market. I mean, all the books kind of have his line at 10.5, maybe some juice towards the under. Not a horrible play, not a great play. Tends to be on the lower profit margin play, but that is a play we could go with. Anyways, did they have TD lines up? We found a lot of good value in TD lines in previous weeks, so maybe we can find some good value in TD lines. Fuck no, we can't. They don't have a lot of TD lines up. Not right now, at least. So, damn, Underdog Fantasy. I mean, there's some plays. A lot of them we've just already bet. So, we can put it back in. And we can take a look. Not much Esports either, which is lame. Well, here we have one, right? Like, this play, Mitoma over 1.5 shots attempted. So, we've done some soccer recently. Anything else? This Hurts play is good. I'm just trying to find something to lock in. So Dorian Singer receiving yards. What's the deal here? Right, and again, a lot of these plays, you can middle. And we've just placed a lot of bets earlier, so it still looks like some of the same plays. But I mean, here it's like, even if you don't use Underdog Fantasy, I mean, this is a crazy middle. 8 yards. That's like 20%. That's fucking crazy. Right? Imagine being a day trader. You go to E-Trade and the price of a stock is 30.5, and then you go to Fidelity, it's 38.5. Well, you fucking short it at 38.5 and you buy it back at 30.5. You make $8. It's crazy how fragmented this market is, right? And that's why there's a lot of opportunity. But again, the reason there's all this opportunity and it doesn't get hammered out of the market really quickly is the betting limits aren't huge. So this is a great side hustle. It's a great way to make money. But when Underdog Fantasy is capping you to $100, you don't get that many smart people who give a fuck about betting on sports because you can't make that much money because they're only going to give you a $100 bet size. So even if you have like a 30% ROI, if you place 10 bets a day, for $100, that would be $300 a day. I mean, you get the point. But anyways, we can go back here and we can see, are there any other plays, we're in love with? A lot of good middle bets, which is crazy. A lot of good middle bets. So we could take Dorian Singer. Unfortunately, depending on where you are, a lot of the main sports books like FanDuel, they don't allow you to bet college football player props in your location. They may not. We can check out League of Legends. In general, I think PrizePicks is the sharper side for League of Legends. Damn, we got national teams for League of Legends. I don't really give a fuck what I'm betting on. We've had a lot of success in esports this year. You can see, PrizePicks has this line at 2, Underdog Fantasy at 2.5. Like, That's valuable information, right? That's the type of stuff you want to know as a sports bettor. Like, where's their value? Where's their discrepancies, in the market? Damn. So look at this middle. I mean, this is just fucking crazy, right? So let's take a look here at passing yards. So for all the lucky people who can bet college football player props on FanDuel, I mean, look at this. 280.5 versus 258.5. I would hit this, and then I would hit this. Over, under. 22-yard middle, right? That's crazy, man. Damn. So a lot of big middle bets. So, and again, we want to put weight into all these sportsbooks odds. So when we're debating betting over 258.5, it's like PrizePicks is a little higher. BetMGM's kind of in the middle. FanDuel's at 280.5. So like maybe there's some value on the over on Underdog, but like the discrepancies are just so big between these sports books. I'd probably just middle bet it. Hit the over 258 half, hit the under 280 half. That's what makes sense to me. Yo, what up, Irvin? How you doing, bro? Anyways, I'm trying to finish this fucking Underdog Fantasy slip. My boy Irvin's in the chat. Anyways, Christian McCaffrey under 17.5 rushing attempts versus the Cardinals. Maybe. Damn, here we go. We got some CSGO. So I think we've bet basically all of these receptions plays, which is crazy, but we bet a lot of good receptions plays. So let's go here and let's get rid of fucking soccer for a sec. Let's just kind of take a look through. So again, Xavier Thomas, you can middle bet that. We got to go to PrizePicks. I already bet on Hurts, so I can't rebet that. Dorian Singer, I'd probably middle bet. Crazy discrepancies for, 22-yard gap. That's crazy. Christian McCaffrey, FanDuel has his line at 15.5. Underdog Fantasy 17.5. Crazy. But anyways, let's go here. So let's look at our boy Jakeem. Here, it seems like we found a really good bet, CSGO. So if you go to ParlayPlay, they have his line at 23.5. PrizePicks has his line at, if we check out CSGO, and it's the same strategy, right? If there's a 2-point gap for an NBA player, 21.5 versus 23.5, you'd be like, whoa, that's crazy. Is it Taco Tuesday? It's no different in esports, right? It's crazy, right? 2-point discrepancies in the market. That's not, and you can see a lot of CSGO plays are popping up now. Damn. You can see that right here. I don't know what just happened, but it seems like the board just got a lot more wet than it was before. And that's also good because I assume there's going to be some good bets on so we can check out this. It's like here, it's like, okay, like 229.5, 216.5, right? The whole market is lower. Some books more than others. But again, all these books are data points. All these books saying, yo, his line should be lower are data points telling us, hey, maybe Underdog Fantasy has their line too high and this is a bet. You don't need a crazy edge, right? All we're trying to find is bets winning. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 4 picks. And then we can check out, some CSGO if we want to. Kobe. Damn, man, we got Kobe in here. So if we go here to CSGO and we look at our boy Kobe, it's like, okay, like Underdog Fantasy 39. Rest of the books 37.5, 37. Doesn't matter even if you only use Underdog. A lot of people will be like, oh, I don't use ParlayPlay. Why would I want to look at their odds? Because it's another book that is moving around lines based on where action's coming in. It's a sophisticated, like, no offense, they're going to have a better model than you have, right? They're going to spend more time setting their lines than you do. So here we kind of have a 5-pick entry. Here's something decent we can go with. And again, I'm just showing, don't tail if you don't want, but these are 5 picks that I think have an edge, right? That are winning above 54.79% of the time, and everything's just based on data. I never bet with my gut, right? You don't even want to, because it doesn't work. It's what everyone tries doing. That's why the fucking books are in business. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 college football, 2 CSGO, 1 random League of Legends play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can go to PrizePicks and we can start building a slip. So let's head over to PrizePicks. We can go to our boy Leary right here and see where the value is. So same thing here, right? They have the line at 229.5 as well on Leary. So that seems decent. 4 unders. Okay. Let's lock it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. So you guys had plenty of time to tail that. There's always one person who shows up late all mad. But here we go. We got 5 picks that we locked in. So what we can do next is we can be like, okay, you know, what should we check out next? Parlay play. And again, it looks like there's some more underdog. I mean, there are, right? There's a lot more underdog fantasy line discrepancies. Most of them are in the same game, it looks like. But, you know, you can always just like filter for CSGO. And again, OddsJam is a very simple software. It's just going to point out the biggest discrepancies, the biggest value in the market, which again is really valuable because this market is extremely fragmented and all these books set lines independently, right? It's literally like being a day trader. If all the sports books had, you know, being a day trader, if like Fidelity had different prices from E-Trade, it would be pretty easy to be a day trader if you could just go to different platforms. So, damn. So this play seems decent on PrizePicks. We got Robert Lewandowski, right? If we check him out, and I don't know shit about soccer. But again, it doesn't matter, right? The people who think they know soccer, it's like, dude, you don't know soccer. You don't know it. Like, even if you watch soccer, you're not going to be able to create better projections than $1 billion, you know, company, Underdog Fantasy, that has invested a lot more money in their ability to set lines, right? So you can see all these other books have his line at 4 shots attempted. PrizePicks is at 3.5, right? So we're using all this data, you know, to our advantage. So this is La Liga. And then you can see FanDuel has him at minus 240. Granted, that's probably a one-way market, but you can see they have him heavily favored to go over. So same with DraftKings, minus 185. Granted, probably a one-way market. So we already locked in this play earlier, but I mean, this looks pretty good too, right? Like you can see here, Garrett Schrader. PrizePicks has his line at 231.5. Again, 17-yard middle. You could always hedge, hit the over here, hit the under here, right? But that's crazy, right? That's a crazy, crazy gap. So here we have our third pick, under 231.5, Syracuse Clemson. So we got 2 unders, 1 over for soccer. Saturday, Friday. So hopefully we start out with a bang tomorrow. And then we're rolling. What other discrepancies do we like? Are we in love with? Do we want to take advantage of? You can see there's some League of Legends plays. And we got some CSGO plays. We got Brace versus Sunday School. So if we go back to CSGO, it's just like, okay, like this is the sportsbook screen again. Just kind of shows you where all books have their line set. Why are there like 4 different things here? Okay, but like you can see here, it's like PrizePicks 32, ParlayPlay is like, no, it should be higher, 32.5. JockMKT 35. You'd literally think it was Taco Tuesday, right? The same way these sports books, you know, run their promos, just like Sleeper, right? Like Sleeper had this promo, like 4.5 to 3.5 receptions. Like you're literally like creating your own discounts. You're creating your own value. And again, the power of sports betting is once you actually learn to get an edge is, you know, your returns are daily. In general, like sure, we're betting on games here. It's Thursday. These games are Saturday. These games are 2 days away. But usually if you're betting, right, your returns are, you know, daily. So we have Leary already. Man, we got Diggs over 6.5 receptions. Check that out. And you can skip over any of these plays you want. But again, PrizePicks strategy, pretty simple. What makes a profitable bet on PrizePicks is it's winning above, you know, if you go through the math behind PrizePicks. So I have my spreadsheet kind of going through Underdog Fantasy, all their payouts, insurance, non-insurance. What percentage of your picks do you have to win? I think I've shared this before, but if not, and share it again for anyone who wants to go through the math. Yeah, St. Brown was fucking shit. He was a lot of promos too. He was in a lot of promos too, and I don't even think the promos cashed. But this spreadsheet kind of breaks down the math behind Underdog, and you can play with it, right? If you're like, okay, I'm going to win 60% of my picks, right? Like a lot of people think that's easy to do. If you think you can win 60% of your over-unders, that, like, you would be a professional sports bettor. Like, you would be retired. You would be a billionaire if you could win your over-unders correctly and beat the market to the tune of 60%. If you can get these prop bets, over-unders correctly 60% of the time, right? Your ROI on Underdog Fantasy would be 42.56%, right? Granted, probably they'll cut down your bet sizes, but you can play around with like, oh, if if I can win what percentage of my picks. So on PrizePicks, it's like 54.2%, right? So like, long story short, it's like, okay, like, ooh, whoa. So if we check this out, damn. So let's go to Diggs. There's our boy. So you can see all the sports books have his over heavily favored, right? That's why this play is good. PrizePicks is going to give you the same payout if you take him to go over or under, right? So we want to take his over. Not trying to do anything complicated. So what about this play on Joe Mixon? I like this too. I really like this. Joe Burrow going to be throwing a lot of short passes, over 17.5 receiving yards. Everyone else, you got to like this prop, right? Joe Mixon over 17.5 receiving yards. And what we can do is, again, like all these sports books, no offense, they're smarter than you. They have a better model than you. They also, most importantly, have access to action, right? They're seeing where is the action coming in the market, and they're moving their lines around accordingly. They're not fucking stupid. Like, people don't get this. DraftKings knows which of its customers are up a lot of money. And if they're betting big on something or trying to bet big on something, they have access to that information, which helps them move lines, right? Which is the same thing it is as a trader, right? You know who you're trading against. Sometimes, not always, but that helps you determine like, oh, what should I do, right? Payment for information. These books use sharp action when they get it to kind of move around their lines. But if we go to the Bengals game, we can take a look at, Joe Mixon. And again, every book is a data point, so don't consider one book, perfect. But if we look at Mixon, it's like, oh, damn. They have his line at 20.5. So on PrizePicks, we're getting him at 17.5. So first of all, we're getting 3 yards of value on PrizePicks versus Pinnacle, which is known to be a sharper, more sophisticated sports book. And then also, they have the over heavily favored. So PrizePicks has the line at 17.5. Pinnacle's like, no, the line should be, first of all, higher at 20.5, and the over should be heavily favored to the tune of minus 142 odds. So it's like, okay, like that seems like a good play to go with. And we can always, you can feel free to get rid of any of these picks. We can see what else is out there. Damn, there are a lot of plays on Underdog. Tyreek Hill over 6.5. Jawan Johnson under 2.5. I mean, you got some, this Quinn Ewers play. McCaffrey under 81.5 yards. Rest of the books have his line at 78.5. So we have different options. Right? So what we could do is just like, hit it. You'll see, right? Like, it's not, PrizePicks is literally only going to let me bet $10. They're such fucking broke motherfuckers that they're not going to take a big bet. And then maybe we get rid of the soccer pick. Maybe we get rid of the college football or the esports play, right? You can always I always call it diversifying, which maybe is a little stupid, but you get the point. Like maybe now it's like, okay, like let's take this and let's throw in some like Johnson under 2.5 receptions. Like again, I'm not trying to say, if you do like sports, you should still be finding value, right? But sure, again, like I always give the simple analogy and then whatever, we can hit this for another 10. So there we got some good value on PrizePicks. We'll check out some more plays on PrizePicks, but I always give the simple analogy, if we go here, right? Like so many people, they only use one sports book. I call them FanDuel whores. It's just people use one sports book, right? They're whores to FanDuel. They're like in love with FanDuel or PrizePicks, but it's pretty simple, right? If you're betting consistently teams at minus 175, right? Or even worse, like minus 180 or something. But if you're consistently placing bets, you're like, oh, I love Fliff. I'm betting Fliff. You're betting at minus 175 odds when you could be getting a team at minus 150, like you're fucked, right? It's like trying to be a day trader where you have to pay, 20% more for every stock you want to buy. like you don't even stand a chance because you're so bad at what you're doing. Like you're just horrible at what you're doing. If you're only using one sportsbook, like you literally are you're basically just burning money. You're basically an idiot, right? Like to put it plainly, not an idiot, but you have no idea what you're doing. So that's like, you need to have multiple sports books. So we can go back here. And what should we look at? I mean, there were a lot of esports. Like you can see these esports line discrepancies. It's just like if we go to CSGO. Although we could check out some of these touchdown lines. Again, on PrizePicks, if you want some other plays that look decent, I do like Walker to not score a touchdown. And if you take a look here, right, if you go to Walker, player touchdowns, right, why, it all boils down, right? Why is this play winning above 54.2% of the time on PrizePicks, right? And you can see here, if you just look at Kenneth Walker, right, nope, there we go. All the books have him super heavily favored to go under, right? All the books that are giving you a price on the under, minus 160, minus 165. Like, he's a big favorite to not score a touchdown. So that's also a good pick, but you're going to see PrizePicks is just like, oh, they did take another bet on Kenneth Walker. So maybe we could include that again. So long story short, if you wanted to, that play looks good as well. I need to cancel this. I don't want to play a 2-pick, obviously. So what we could do is just be like, okay, like, interesting. Let's take Walker, right? Maybe we build an NFL slip. So we take Walker. We take, what were the best plays we had? We had Diggs, Mixon. So let's take Diggs, right? So we want this, right? We want Mixon's over 17.5 receiving yards. All these picks seem pretty good. And then what else do we like? So we could go here. Schrader and Leary both under 231.5, 229.5. Again, those were crazy line discrepancies with FanDuel. So Schrader, nope. It's not how you spell it, I guess. And there we go. Something like this, right? And again, like, I know I can't bet a lot of money on it. I don't need that many picks. Maybe we go with, we already have Leary. So maybe we hit something like this. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. I did need it. So let's go back here. Damn. What am I doing? So we want Leary as well. Under 229.5. Right? All these plays seem pretty good. Just finding value. Looking for picks winning above 54.2% of the time. Right? So we got a little 5-pick flex play. And again, I'm just like very carefully betting my money because PrizePicks gives me such shitty betting limits. But this play seems good. So then we can go to ParlayPlay, and then we'll go back to Underdog Fantasy, and we'll look for those CSGO picks. So if we go back here to ParlayPlay, we can kind of take a look. And again, this is really the benefit of having, more sports books. So we really like that play on Bolden. That's great. McCaffrey, I think I've already bet him. If we go here, did we already bet? So we already have McCaffrey under 84.5. So we're not going to be able to rebet that. But we do have Silas, right? We want him under 4.5 receptions. That play seems solid. What else did we like? We already have McCaffrey. Again, like, there's no rocket science going on here, right? If you look at McCaffrey's line, again, like, a lot of people will be like, oh, I think McCaffrey's going to have a great game. And it's like, well, great. I don't fucking care. You can see on Hot Streak, they actually have his line at 86.5. So you could get an even 2 more yards of value. You could also middle bet that with Underdog, who has his line at 76.5. But right, like, ParlayPlay has the line at 84.5. Every other book is lower, except for Hot Streak, right? 76.5. Right? So, like, all these books are saying, no, line should be lower. And again, like, these books move around lines based on where action's coming in. A lot of people are like, no, like, I think he's going to go, I think whatever. It's like these books move around lines based on lineup changes, weather changes, where action's coming into the market. It's a market, right? These books don't just leave their lines up and never change them. So, if the coach said McCaffrey's going to be getting more snaps, That's probably already baked into the market, unless you're the only one hearing the interview and it's not public. But like, you get the point. So what do we want to go with? Mix in. So this mix in play is also on ParlayPlay, which we like. So we can go here and we can like double down on it. Again, ParlayPlay has better payouts than PrizePicks, which we can go through. I already have this play on ETN. You can see earlier in the day, I think it was 70.5. Now it's down to 66.5. Is the line just keeps getting worse. So Jackson Dart, his line is 43.5 on ParlayPlay. FanDuel 36.5, right? So if you go to the LSU game, it's like, damn, like, you know, there's just a lot of opportunity. And you could sit here all day and do this, right? There are people, professional sports bettors, you know, people who do this full time who just do that, right? They just find plays with an edge consistently and they make money, right? So let's go here, Jackson Dart. Where are you, baby? You can see 36.5, right? Hit the under 43.5. And with ParlayPlay, they give you a daily promo where you can like bump a line in your favor. So you could even bump him up and take his like under 45 or something like that. McCowan, we had her last game. She actually cashed a big parlay for us recently on ParlayPlay. We had her over 11.5. And this game, we're taking her under 11. FanDuel has her line at 10.5. DraftKings has her under favored. That seems solid. We have Greg Joseph under 1.5 field goals. Field goal props did not do well for us today, but regardless, again, like, it may seem like I'm just betting on everything, but again, like, first of all, this platform has a maximum bet size of $60. If you only place one fucking bet a day and you have a 10% ROI, that's great. 10% ROI is great, right? That means you're earning $6 a day in ROI. Like, why even bet if you're earning $6 a day in ROI? Might as well get a job, right? Like, it's not worth it. You need to be able to place volume. And on ParlayPlay, I've literally broken down the payouts behind this platform. I understand it inside and out. I understand exactly what percentage of my picks I need to win to be profitable. And it's 53.2. Any play with a win rate above 53.2% is profitable. So why is this play winning above 53.2% of the time? Well, let's look at this guy. He's heavily favored to go under. Under. All the sports books have him heavily favored to go under, so that's the play we want to go with. Fuck you, James Conner, too. Man, we're betting on everyone who's given me a bad beat recently. ParlayPlay, we're actually having a pretty good month. If we look at September, we're overall having a decent month. If you follow me on Pickett, my verified bet tracker, I mean, 2.5K, right? We're up this month. Decent, right? There's one sports book that has a max bet size of $60. Not that bad, right? For like taking like 10 minutes a day to bet on it. And you can see here, though, we've had a lot of bad beats, right? So this would have won, you know, like $1,400 or $1,200, whatever. That's a bad beat. But this is the worst beat. Fucking James Conner, where is he? Right? We had him. This would have cashed a $1,500 parlay, 60 to 1,500. So that's beat, and then Estime also beat. So we've had a lot of close calls on these parlays. So hopefully, we needed him. We needed him over last game in receiving yards, but I guess this game we're taking him under. Damn, and there's a Mac Jones rushing prop too. So you can see there's more plays. It's just, I mean, there's a lot more plays. Jalen Hurts under 230. Damn. So like, there's a lot of plays on ParlayPlay right now. And again, it really is a volume game. And when I say this platform's better than PrizePicks, you can literally see right here, right? Nope. We need to go to a 6-pick flex play. PrizePicks is 25 2.4x. ParlayPlay is 25 2.5.5. And these things, like, you know, they make a difference long term. So that will be the first pick we lock in right here, if you want to like screenshot it. And again, if you're just tuning in, we locked in this on Underdog Fantasy. And it seems like we're having a halfway decent start to the week on Underdog. I mean, a lot's going to come down to Sunday. Mahomes, McCaffrey, right? Fucking hammering McCaffrey. A lot of early value. And again, like, you know, for example, Tua, we have him under 286 half. everyone in the world like is sucking his dick right now. Oh, Tua, Tua, Tua. But, you know, at the end of the day, if I want to, I can always go middle bet this at this point because sportsbooks have him like, you know, again, the value was early on Underdog Fantasy. They were screwing up their line. Now I can get Tua over 270.5 if I want to, and I can go middle bet it, right? And I have the 16-yard gap. It's like shorting a company at 286.5, shorting a stock, buying it back at 270.5. That's how you got to think as a sports bettor if you even want to, you know, try to make money. Otherwise, I don't know what you're trying to do. Not going to make money. That's for sure. So, damn, there are just a lot of line discrepancies right now. ParlayPlay too, like because ParlayPlay has better payouts, right, than PrizePicks, you have to win a lower percentage of your picks to be profitable, right? Which is a nice thing, 25, 2.5, 0.5. So on ParlayPlay, you only have to win 53.2% of your props to be profitable, whereas PrizePicks, it's like 54.2, right? So, okay, it's like, okay, like, you know, whatever. And again, there's some good plays, but I've already bet them. So we have James Conner. So then it's like, okay, like, you know, Mac Jones under 8.5. Let's take a look at this. Right, so we got Mac Jones under 8.5. Rushing yards. Some of the most random plays in the world. But if that's where the value is, that's what we'll bet. Pinnacle has this as a minus 147 favorite. Hunter, under 49.5 rushing yards. FanDuel, 43.5. You could middle bet this, right? Winning 53.2% of your picks when the market is this inefficient, again, it's not that hard. And it really is just a volume game. Getting down, you know, ideally a lot of these picks. Brock Purdy sucks. Just kidding. Brock Purdy doesn't suck. So we want to take him under 7.5. So under in rushing yards. We have two QBs. I mean, it's a fun sweat. You can't say it's not a fun sweat. So this play is kind of interesting, and I actually kind of like it, right? The Patriots are playing the Cowboys. I mean, granted, it's, well, never mind. So you can see Amari Cooper. Pinnacle has his line, first of all, higher at 61.5, but they also have the over favored. So it's like, okay, like that seems like a good play to go with. Emory Jones under 222.5. DraftKings has line at 215.5. We already have this play on Underdog Fantasy, don't we? Or we don't. I don't think Underdog has this prop available. But we want, you know, him under 5.5 receptions. Again, right? I just follow the data. I don't fucking care what you say about sports. I will never care. It's already baked into the market, right? And even if it's not, right, the data never lies. Like a lot of people would be like, oh, you know, but, you know, I think XYZ. It's like, even if you have, you know, even if you have some inside info, right? Like, even if games are rigged. So for example, one thing a lot of people say is like, oh, games are rigged. It's like, if nobody knows what direction the game is rigged in, it doesn't matter. Like this, the math still applies, right? If you assume the game is 50-50 to be rigged in your favor or against your favor, right? And there's also no such thing as luck long term due to the law of large numbers. No such thing as luck over the course of the long run, right? So it's very simple. I don't care what you think about, you know, Jalen Hurts as a very simple example, because the entire market has him at 230.5, and we could bump this to 241.5. Again, they have this little promo where you can like bump the line in your favor, right? And you can see like line movements are, you know, highlighted, or it looks like it went away. But the whole market has Jalen Hurts at, you know, around 220, 230.5, 232. So like these extra 6 yards of value, right? This really is how you get an edge. And then on top of that, I throw on the promo where I'm getting under 241.5. Granted, you can only bet this promo. Tyreek Hill under 93.5. I mean, there are just a lot of bets on ParlayPlay right now. You can see here, all these plays in green you would want to go with. So there's a lot of value right now, but can't sit here all night. So again, I'm using this little slide the line promo. ParlayPlay does this every day, right? So it gives you an extra 5 yards of value on your bet, right? For any QB you want to bet on. So I could take Hurts over 231.5, right? But I want to take the under, and I want to take the under, right? 241.5. So I'm getting an extra 5 yards of value, just kind of slapping on this promo, which is nice. And then we can lock it in. So I've already hit my full game limit on, Chris Olave, I guess. So I got to get rid of that. And nope, let's go back to parlay play. What? I do not want to look at CSGO only, so we can go here. And what we can do is we can look for a final play, to kind of pair with it. Metcalf, under 66.5 receiving yards. The entire market has him at 60.5. It's just like, God, there are a lot of bets. Greg Joseph, I think we already had that. What am I looking for? Damn, there are a lot of bets. Tons of line discrepancies. Football season is in full swing. That's for sure. Caleb Williams, under 353.5. They're probably going to be blowing out Colorado. That play kind of seems to make sense. Swizz, under 35.5. How do we feel about this? Right, so we can go here. Do we think this is a play? Again, on parlay play, all you got to do to be profitable is win our picks over 53.2% of the time. So if we check out this play on Swizz, parlay play has his line a bit higher. This indicates to us, hey, the value's on the under. Very simple. So what we can do is we can just go ahead and we can lock it in, right? Under 35.5. So $20 max. Again, better payouts than PrizePicks, and there's our promo play. And here's our payout structure. Anyways, let's check the chat. On parlay play, can you do the free play? What's up, guys? I'm signing up soon with parlay play. Yeah, parlay play is great, man. Parlay play, it's ugly, but it's great. And I'm not sure what the free play is. I have no idea what this is. So if you get first place, you get $36. Super enticing. Thanks, parlay play. $36. How many passing yards is Tua going to throw for? Okay. Jefferson. I don't know. Just stupid. Whatever. I mean, it's free. So I guess that's what I submitted. Kind of stupid, but hey, we'll take it for a shot at $36. So then we can go back to this EV tool. And again, I'll be posting more like FanDuel and stuff. It's just available in less states, so haven't been posting as much of it. But again, the positive EV tool, like PrizePicks, is unique. We talk about PrizePicks a lot, so it starts to seem normal that, sports books like PrizePicks don't have odds and they have fixed payouts. But obviously that's not generally the case. That's a PrizePicks thing. Is most sports books have prices, they have odds, right? So like the same way as a day trader, you're really thinking about what price am I getting? Where am I entering this trade? What stock price am I buying at? Right? It's the same thing, what are the price changes? Like literally sports betting is identical to trading, right? Stock prices changing, right? That is line movement. Injuries, market news, right? Like prices, odds, all this stuff is the same. It's the exact same stuff. Like people think sports betting has something to do with sports. It really doesn't. And I know that makes a lot of people sad because they really like sports, but they are really lazy and don't understand math. But they just shouldn't bet. They should just watch sports then. Or they should bet casually because you're not going to make money unless you understand these things. You have multiple sports books. You understand how to line shop, stuff like that. So, and there is a bit of a learning curve and you do need multiple sports books. But again, like a lot of people think it's super hard to have multiple sports books when it's like, it's not, right? Like most of these books have, you'll notice most of these books have sign-up bonuses as well, right? Like, I don't know, Parlay Play, you put in $100, you get $100 for free, right? That's Parlay Play's sign-up offer, and it takes a minute to sign up. So I signed up for Parlay Play just to get the free $100. I put in 100. They gave me $100 for free, right? It's like an absolute no-brainer. And it's the same thing on Sleeper, on this sportsbook Sleeper, right? Right here, the only thing I've bet, which is a fact, you can look through my Pickett account or whatever, is you'll see on Sleeper, there's no value. It's always red. It's really hard to find a profitable bet on Sleeper because they have so much vig, or they juice their markets a lot. They add a lot of juice or a big spread to their markets. All I bet is their promos for like the past 2 months, and I'm up like a couple $100 just betting promos. And it took me a minute to sign up, and they gave me $100 to sign up, for their sports book. So you can see a lot of soccer bets on FanDuel. Soccer's actually my most profitable sport on FanDuel. Casper Rudd, lines are ripping towards her, right? So who knows, right? Like maybe, like this is line movement, right? Pinnacle, one of the sharper, the smarter sports books, they've ripped the odds on Casper, Rudd from minus 160 favorite to minus 205. FanDuel is still offering Casper Rudd, Rude, whatever. I don't fucking care. It's tennis. All these books have her line at minus 200 or worse, basically. You can get her minus 182 on FanDuel. It's like, seeing a stock priced at 225 throughout the market, and you can buy it at 182. So the whole market has adjusted to having her as a bigger favorite, minus 200. You can pick up minus 182 on FanDuel. And then this is your profit margin, 0.8%, right? So again, like these profit margins also seem very low, but you have to remember, you're in general, when you're betting on sports, you're betting on things that are soon, right? People always talk about, oh, the stock market makes 8% a year. It's like, cool. If you can earn 2% in a day in sports betting, that's a 60% ROI in a month. But again, the hard part is getting down enough action, right? So when someone says they have a 4% ROI on their bets, if they're betting every day, that means on the money they're betting, that's an 120% ROI over the course of a month. It's fucking crazy if you think about it in terms of the compounding and how quickly your bankroll can grow. And you can see there's a lot of good promos and stuff too on these sports books. FanDuel, so you can see FanDuel has a sign-up bonus. Bet 5, get $200 in bonus bets. 30% profit boost. I mean, there's just a ton of promos on these sports books. 50% college football boost for Duke Notre Dame, right? So what you could do is you could go, we can bet this on FanDuel if we want. You can just go here, okay, there's a promo on FanDuel, and we want to find good bets for the Notre Dame game. And again, I solely follow the value, the market, because that's all I believe in, right? I will never just bet with my gut because I was trained not to. So if we put in, are there no bets in the Notre Dame game? Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any bets in the Notre Dame game. So we can wait and find something else to pair it with. Anyways, let's go back to Underdog Fantasy. We can check out some of these CSGO plays. We checked out a lot of the touchdown props. There wasn't really any value. So let's go here. We can filter for CSGO. And let's take a look. How do you turn DFS deposit bonuses into... Did the screen still freeze? Screen frozen? Are we good? Can someone comment? Let's try this. I don't know what the fuck is happening with this software. So anyways, let's go back here. This will work. So there we go. We should have the whole thing. I have no idea what's happening. I have no idea where we got messed up, but now it should work. So you can see there's some CSGO line discrepancies if you want to take a screenshot. I mean, some of these look pretty good, right? Right? Raga. I mean, again, compared to the NFL, you have less data points in, screen froze. Hopefully it's working now. As you can see, again, just like you have less data points in, esports compared to other things. But I mean, still, right? You have Underdog at 38, PrizePicks at 36, ParlayPlay 36.5. Like this play seems, like they're pretty good value taking the under. So you know, these plays aren't crazy big discrepancies. It's not like these are 10 kill discrepancies or something like that. So hopefully it's working now. Unfroze. Unfroze. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, so we can check out this. So let's lock in a slip. So we got Raga under 38. And again, these aren't the highest profit margin plays. So I'm not going to act like this is anything to write home about. But I mean, I'm never going to shy away from an opportunity to place a bet. But just warning you, like I'll typically tell you, yo, this is an incredible bet. Hyped 37, 38 half, 39 across the board. We got super over 36. I mean, there's a lot of line discrepancies. And again, when you only bet with data, very freeing. You know, you're just following the market and letting yourself, you know, make money. So we have under 36. Damn, there's a lot of esports tomorrow. So we got him under 36 right here. We got our boy Malta. And you can see just big line discrepancies if you kind of see like where these other books are pricing a line. So this plays in the same game, so we're going to skip over that. Esports, you need to be a little careful including things in the same game because depending on how long the game goes, kind of stuff like that, it affects the correlation. 35 half, 33 halves across the board. I mean, it's like, damn, there are a lot of esports line discrepancies right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here, like this would be, I mean, if you want a crazy night ahead, you got games starting at 1:40 a.m., 4 a.m., 11:30 a.m., and 10 a.m. But all these picks have an edge. Again, the edge isn't crazy. It's not the Damian Martinez play we found yesterday. I think that was his name. This play was probably the best play I've seen all week. Damian Martinez, no touchdown. He's like minus 200 to not score on sportsbooks. He's a 2-1 favorite to not score, right? So we said earlier, like on Underdog Fantasy, you can play around with this spreadsheet and kind of see what your ROI will be. So if you were able to find picks that were winning 66.67% of the time, right? If you were able to find plays winning 2/3 of the time, your ROI on Underdog would be 113%, 114%, which would be crazy. Right, so this play was incredible. Obviously, all these other plays weren't as incredible, but still, we got a really good play. So we went through PrizePicks, you know, check out here the positive EV tool. We can see if there's any other value on like FanDuel, stuff like that. Ooh, we got Devonta Smith now showing up. It's like, okay. Maybe we say, okay, fuck you, Malta. You're not Devonta Smith. You're not as exciting as Smith. So what we can do is we can remove him if my screen loads. Hopefully we didn't freeze again. And then let's go to our boy Smith. Over 4.5 receptions. And then we want to play this with insurance. Right? So again, why is this play good? All the sports books have us over heavily favored. Underdog is a platform where they don't change your payout based on you selecting over versus under. So the strategy for beating them is you compare the lines on Underdog to those on the sports books, and you find spots where, you know, the books have one side of the market heavily favored. In this case, it's Smith to go over. All the books have him heavily favored to go over, right? And again, like a lot of people ask, why did this bet show up now? And it's like, you know, I explain this in every video, but these line movements, a lot of them are based around, you know, official starting lineups, lineup changes, weather changes, all that sort of stuff. So the, you know, sharp action coming in. If everyone comes in and starts hammering, you know, Smith to go over, lines are going to move. And you can see sportsbooks move lines pretty consistently. They're always moving lines around based on where action's coming in. But anyways, we can check out, you know, let's check out FanDuel, Caesars, DraftKings, Fliff. A lot of soccer bets, as always, on FanDuel. If you bet on FanDuel, probably soccer will end up being your highest ROI sport. There's always a lot of soccer bets. USC minus 23.5 against Colorado. You want to fade Colorado? Here's a spot where you're actually getting value, right? Minus 23.5, plus 115. All the other books have this around like plus 103. Day trading the sports books. We could also take USC minus 22.5. So you could pound UFC. You know, they have alternate spreads on these books. So you can bet, you know, basically any spread you want, you can end up betting. So we already got the Diggs play. So again, if you're just tuning in, what do we have going on here is what did we lock in? So we got some plays on PrizePicks. Why is it so slow? Okay. So we got some plays on PrizePicks. Kenneth Walker, right? We got this. You know, we got a little 6-pick entry here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we got some plays on Underdog. We got this beauty. Looks like the most random slip of all time, but if that's where the value is, that's what we'll be betting. Ooh, damn. So this one I didn't even play with insurance, which is fine. 5 picks on Underdog. It's pretty, you know, I think it's pretty similar. You want to play insurance, but for 5 picks with no insurance, you have to win 54.9% of your bets to be profitable. Whereas 5 picks with insurance, it's only 54.7%. So like if you could win, you know, 55% of your bets, you're going to have a positive ROI 5 pick with insurance, an ROI of 2%, right? Whereas, you know, for 5 picks, no insurance, it would be 0.65. Long story short, it's very marginally better to play 5-pick entries with insurance. Doesn't really matter. But just something to note. So we can check out, you know, are there any other plays we want to go with on Fliff? Something like that. I mean, there's some bets on FanDuel, DraftKings, stuff like that, but I think we'll call it a day for now. Hopefully you were able to tail some of these. We got down a lot of good bets. Some decent looking plays starting to form from earlier in the week from the live stream. 1, right? So 2 down here, 3 down here. Obviously this play is just voided. And then we got some with 1 down. Dow's went off. This guy went off. That was not a good bet. But luckily, it meant none of the other Packers receivers got receptions. We had a bunch of Packers to go under. Musgrave. Well, Musgrave got injured. Wicks under, right? I think we also had Wicks on PrizePicks. I'm just not sure where. So we did have Wicks. Fucking Medina, though. So, whatever. We'll see how the game goes. So anyways, we'll call it a day. If anyone has any questions I didn't get to, I know I largely bet. What's the ROI on 3 picks? Can we get some CSGO? Bro, we just did 4 CSGO. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you talking about PrizePicks CSGO? Because if we're talking about PrizePicks CSGO, we can take a look at PrizePicks CSGO real quick. Why not? Whew, fucking tired. So let's go here and let's go to CSGO. Let's take a look. Anything? Ooh. Anything on PrizePicks that we like? Well, yeah, there is. Damn. So this is a play, again, you could middle bet it if you wanted to. So take a look at this play, right? Underdog has this guy's line at 17.5. PrizePicks has his line at 15. So if you wanted to, come on. Why are you taking so long to load? Okay, so let's go here. We have DPR. I mean, this is crazy, right? 15 versus 17.5. Crazy how inefficient this market is. So, you know, and it seems like PrizePicks is the side that's screwing up, according to OddsJam. You know, you can see, assuming, you know, there's no error here, PrizePicks has the line at 15. You can see here, Underdog and ParlayPlay have the line at 17 and 17.5. So it seems like PrizePicks is the one that's too low relative to the other books. But we can look at CSGO headshots. We can see if anything comes up. And we can take a look at DPR. So yeah, I mean, that seems solid, right? That's a CSGO PrizePicks pick for whoever asked. We can check out Munzie over 13. Where do other books have him? You know, only one other book, ParlayPlay. So again, when you only have 2 data points, I'd probably middle bet this, hit the over 13, hit the under 15. And there were so many bets available on ParlayPlay. But what we can do is we can go back here and we can look for, again, I think Walker's the best play on the board. Just saying. That is what I would be going with, is Walker, no touchdown, right? I would take Diggs. I would take Mixon. I would take Diggs. Or, we already have some Mixon. So maybe it's like, okay, maybe we, take some more Diggs in here. Diversify a little. Maybe we can do that. Some new picks. We can take a look. Why is this so slow? It's fucking pissing me off. So we can go back here. Whoa, I bet DPR, yeah, then you can middle it. I mean, that's crazy if that was a 6.5 headshot discrepancy. You could have middled the crap out of that. So anyways, you don't necessarily have to bet this, but you get the point. Is it's still a crazy discrepancy. Sure, it got a little worse, 15 versus 17.5, but that's still insane, right? Earlier, according to the people in the chat, it was 15 versus what, 21.5, which is also insane. But again, sometimes the value goes away. So this 15 versus 17.5, it will go away. So you could middle bet this. There's a bunch of things you could do. What else do we have? You could pick, you can always include these two picks. You can always middle bet certain of the plays. For example, we could hit this on Underdog, the under 17.5. Right, and then the over 15.5 on right on PrizePicks. So then that bet's middled. We want him to have 15, 16, or 17 headshots, so we win both bets. And then what we could do is we could go here, to FanDuel for the Syracuse game. I think there was a crazy discrepancy. So if we go here, I need a new computer. If any of you guys want to buy me a new computer, that'd be great. So if we go here to the Syracuse game and we look at passing props, Garrett Schrader's line is 214.5. So then you could middle this between FanDuel and PrizePicks. I mean, this is how you think as a sharp bettor, right? It's oh shit, here's this discrepancy, inefficiency in the market. I'm going to take advantage of it between FanDuel and PrizePicks, between Underdog and, So we can go here to the arbitrage tool too. Again, arbitrage is a great way to supplement your income, I mean, this is crazy, right? Lamar Jackson, he was plus 290. This is look at this. Lamar Jackson is plus 270 to score a touchdown. It already moved from plus 290 to plus 270, but still, plus 270. All the other books have him plus 175 or worse, right? You could arb this. FanDuel is screwing up so bad that you could have bet this on Fliff and FanDuel and made a risk-free profit of $6 due to this huge discrepancy. So this is called arbitrage betting. And again, I talk about it sometimes because it's free money. It's how I started out sports betting, is arbitrage betting. I think we arbitrage bet some of the shit today, right? So what did we arbitrage bet? So we had Wicks. Of course, when I only had 70, I didn't even have enough money in my Fliff because I withdrew. And I was going to hit that for 250, only put 70, but whatever. Jaden Reed, we arbitrage bet. We made a risk-free $5, $6 from. So I tell a lot of people, you can just arb bet. And if you're scared of losing money sports betting as you start to bet, you can always just arb bet $20 a day, make $20 from arbitrage a day, and then you can put that on your parlays, right? Always finding excuses to gamble, but we can see here, do we already have this arbitrage bet on ag now? So I already do, right? And you can see it's already gotten worse. Fliff had this at minus 395. Now they're at minus 405, but you could still hit it for the max on Fliff, hit it on DraftKings, make a risk-free profit of $5. You do that for these two bets, you're $10 richer, and that will take you all of a minute to do, and you'll make the easiest $10 of your life. So many people are I don't like doing work for a free $5. It's you won't do work for $5 that takes you 20 seconds to do sitting in your fucking boxers at home. SMH. But anyways, also take advantage of the easy money promos. I'll try to be better about, dropping these profitable promos, stuff like that on Twitter. But there's a lot of them. It's just obviously very boring to go through all these small bet sizes, promos, like DraftKings, NFL, no sweat bet. Ryder Cup odd surge. Like, all this shit's profitable. It's just like, you got to remember to bet it. So anyways, we got a lot of good bets. So hopefully it was helpful, and have a great rest of your day.